Greetings, everyone. Obviously, I'm filming a lot of videos today. So, the resurrection stuff, rising from the dead character. Um, in the Dungeon Master Guide, it was 100 experience points. In Arduin, I think it was 400 off the top of my head without pulling the text. Which came first? Well, Arduin was published in 1977. Dungeon Master Guide was published in 1979. So that idea was probably introduced into the general gaming community via Arduin. Yeah, I say probably because, best guess. So, and in fact, there's a lot of ideas that came out of all those Arduin grimoires that were produced that we see recycled into games, even coming into games modernly. Oh yes, there's a new class of wizards for D&D 6e. I'm calling it 6e. It's 6e. Everybody needs to just be honest. It's going to be so different. Oh, we're not. It's going to be not compatible with 5e. It just isn't. There's going to be a way to convert. Absolutely. Sorta, kinda, and then it's going to be its own thing. So we got to be honest. It's not even going to be a 5.5. I don't think it's going to be 6e. Anyway, I'm calling it 6e. Star Wizards, Star Mages. That's from Arduin. That's way from Arduin. And there's a reason why there's rune mages or wizards in Arduin and also in RuneQuest. I mean, there's the 6 connections. It's a thing. So that question came up, the chicken and the egg question, when we were doing the Dungeon Master's Guide, first edition, which came first, and it was Arduin. So I wanted to clarify that. Then I also, before I do more of these and do 2e, and I'm going to have to find a 3 and a 3.5. I don't have those at all. 2e I have. I have a physical copy of reprint. Not the best version, but I have a reprint of 2e, so I can take a look at that. And I need to track down the old books. New books are flimsy. I don't like it. Yeah. So I don't know. We might just skip to 4e because I have 4e Dungeon Master Guide, and I have 5e's Dungeon Master Guide, and I have the basic start, little box for 5e to look at. The other basics, I don't know. Do we need to look at those? I don't know. I'll have to go look, and I'll have to find a scan or something just to take a pic, a look-see, a peeps at the EXP rules, see how those may have changed. I have the encyclopedia, so maybe I'll just pull the encyclopedia and see if it really significantly changed from Holmes or not. Then we'll look at treasure and experience, because what we're looking for here is, when did it become one or the other? I'm kind of curious, because that question gets asked a lot, and it baffles me. It's like all 3. From now on, my answer won't be I do both. It's going to be I do all 3, and that'll really confuse people. But I have Arduin big book here, and what I wanted to look at is in 1981, Arduin came out with the Arduin Adventure, which is the game. It's a game. Now, the old Arduin, you could, in fact, if you had experience in role-playing games, you could play it. You could figure out how to make it work. If you were playing D&D, you could add in ideas, which is what most people were doing. They already had some kind of fantasy game they were playing, and they were like, ooh, I like this chart, I like this idea, and so it was very modular. and you would do that like a buffet. So I've gone through these rules before a little bit, but I should go through this part. In 1981, the experience level system changed, and it went from being points that we saw in the original point discussion to we're not doing points. No, I'm just going to read it. Experience is what all people occur as they proceed through life. This is what we learn while doing our jobs and coping with different situations. In the game, this is shown by the character's ability to better himself, fight, evade, etc. as he gains experience levels. Each character will gain 1 experience level for every 5 adventures completed through 4th level. Thereafter, it takes 20 adventures to gain each additional EL. Later on, you can use more precise point value experience system, such as in the Arduin trilogy, as for a more detailed awarding of experience. Remember, each EL means 1 point less on any die roll the character has to make. It helps in attacking and making the saving throws necessary to survive. Sometimes this 1 less is shown as a plus value. That is to say, the character is +1 to attack, hit. That means he needs 1 less to do so. Example, with an EL of 1, Gondor the dwarf needs 14 to hit a defense factor of 2 with his warhammer. With an EL of 2, second level, he needs only to roll 13. 14 subtract 1 equals 13. All right. So, to get you started, they did EL levels. But then they said if you still want to use XP or revert to XP or use XP points, then, refer to the older material and go from there. So, these experience leveling system where you do so many adventures and then you hit that milestone moment had made it into the general gaming community by this time. I do not know who originated that idea. I do not own Every Dragon, White Wolf magazine, all those. I just don't. Yeah, I would need a much bigger library than I currently have to even attempt to track that down. Somebody else might know. I just know it became a thing at some point in the gaming world where some games were doing experience points and others were doing a level. You as the DM under this situation, GM, you're going to be the one who calls the shots. And what constitutes an adventure, even though actually in there they give some samples, ideas of what would be like a session's worth of adventure stuff. To get you, where at what point does it become an adventure kind of thing. But you're still the one who has to figure that out and then reward. So then your carrots have to become somewhat different when you're using this kind of system, because you're not using the point system. Do you see how changing these things affects your carrots? Doesn't mean you don't have tools under either. It just means you have to readjust your tools. So keep that in mind if you're going to use a leveling system like in the Arduin Adventure. Your tools become all the goodies people can get, other resources. Anyway, have a great day, and we will continue hunting for where did that controversy, treasure versus monsters, happen.